What's going on, Stature Icons? This is me, Jalal Wilson, and today we got a book review. This book is by Scott Adams. It's called How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. Kind of the story of my life. And I like this book, and I think a lot of times we don't really read. And I still want to be able to pass along lessons that I'm learning, even if you don't read. Just you may never pick up this book, but I want to give you a couple nuggets that I learned from the book so that you can apply them to your life. And the first thing I'm gonna start off with is why I chose the book. This is for me, the reason why I chose this book is because I have failed at pretty much everything, and I still am guaranteed that I'm going to win big. Now, the thing about that is, yes, I have failed at pretty much everything, but I wanted to read this book to just figure out, to kind of like that thing where you know you're not the only one. It feels good knowing you're not the only one. And if he can overcome it, I'm not going to overcome it the same way he did. I'm going to go about it my way. But I was curious about what tips he might have for me in this book. I think what I enjoy most about this book, because I think a lot of times we get these books, and this book is, let's see here, it is 231 pages. Now, 231 page book for me has to keep me entertained, or it's going to take me a long time to finish it. Or I have to feel like I'm learning from it. The thing I liked about his approach was it was honest. It was straightforward. And it was kind of like that uncle you got that can't help but just say whatever he's thinking. That's kind of what I took away from his style in this book. And I appreciated that because a lot of times we don't need people blowing smoke up our butt. We can blow smoke up our own butt. And with that, let's get into the things that I learned from this book. Oh, actually, before we get into the things that I learned from the book, I'm going to tell you about the one reason I almost stopped reading the book. And this was a big thing to me because I kind of believe in it. And one of the things he said was passion was BS. And it made me want to put the book down because I'm passionate about Stature Icon. And I've been passionate about things before in the past. But after I got done reading the chapter about passion, I understood his points. And am I still passionate about stuff? But yes, but I also want to have some practicality about it. He gave an example. He said there was a banker. He said, we never loan money to passionate people. We loan money to people who have a spreadsheet with an understandable system that they're going to do this business with. They don't have to be passionate. It makes sense on the spreadsheet. That's who we loan money to. And it made sense because let's just say I was passionate about, passionate about fruit snacks. And I just decided I want to open up a store only selling fruit snacks because that's what I was passionate about. But I opened up my store in an area where people don't eat fruit snacks. Would I be a wise person to invest money in? Absolutely not. So I understood his point. He did say that passion has a role, but it's kind of like once you see that you're successful in whatever it is you're doing, right? You'll become passionate about it. You know what I mean? And that makes sense because it's once you saw that you're successful, of course you're going to be passionate about trying to be more successful or trying to reach whatever elevation you want to in that particular thing. Sometimes the simple thing is just the simple thing. It makes sense, but it still hurt my feelings when I first read it and made me want to put down the book. Like, what do you know, Scott Adams? And one other fun fact is I had never read a Dilbert comic in my life. But this guy's good, man. This guy's good. All right. So I'm going to give you another thing he said that I thought was really is mind-blowing if you allow it to be, or you can not. His choice is yours. He talked about systems versus goals. And everybody talks about, know what your goals are, know what you're aiming at, know where you want to go. and all of that. But systems, he talks about systems. Systems are the things that you do every day because that you believe that these systems will better your life. They just better, they make your life better. That's what these systems do. And it got me to thinking. That actually made sense to me. When you think about a goal, if your goal is to say, let's just say, lose 5 pounds or even gain 5 pounds, you do all the things, you start eating right, or maybe it's if you're cutting, you start exercising, you do all the things, you're tracking everything to make sure you lose those 5 pounds. And then you lose the 5 pounds. Well, now that you committed the goal, for most people, what happens next is they just stop doing it. They got the trophy, they got the t-shirt, they did the thing, then they stop doing it. And what happens? They put back on the 5 pounds again. Because there was no system around, hey, I'm just going to work out every day because I know that this will make me a healthier me just in general. Because if we looked at it that way, the 5 pounds will automatically come off if we just had a system that said, I'm going to work out every day for X amount of time. The pounds would come off by themselves. But when we have it a goal, we reach the goal, we stop, and then we put back on the 5 pounds. Then we set the goal again. It's like going on a treadmill. We're just going around in circles and circles and circles and circles. And that doesn't make any sense, but we do it all the time. So I like the idea of having systems instead of goals. Things that we do every day. One of mine is reading. Because I think it cannot make me any dumber reading every day. So this is something that can only benefit my life going forward. I don't have an exact amount of pages I must read every day. It's just that I spend 1 hour reading. Sometimes it takes me 1 hour to read 10 pages. I don't know. It just depends. But that's all the requirement is. So I want you to think about that for your life. Where might better be where it might be better for you to put a system in place instead of some arbitrary goal. The other three biggest takeaways that I had, and I want to make sure I say this, that I believe, the three biggest takeaways that I believe we can use to help improve our lives and put us in a position to be more successful. The first one is the concept, we talk about the concept of skill stacking. And skill stacking is just basically that. You getting a skill in one area, and then you stack another skill on top of that. So for example, for me, if creating videos was my skill, just creating the videos. I didn't say editing the videos. I didn't say any of that. Knowing how to make thumbnails. Well, which would make me more successful? Let's just say I know how to record the video. Okay, what if the next skill I stack on top is being able to edit the videos? Okay, cool. Then let's just say the next skill I stack on top of that is knowing how to create thumbnails. Okay, cool. So now I have these three skills. And let's just go a step further. If I knew how to write scripts. Okay, now I got these four skills, and I don't have to be great at them. I just have to be good at them. Those 4 skills I can go out and market to someone who's a beginner YouTuber who doesn't know any of that, and they would be willing to pay me because I have those 4 skills. So his point was we should focus on stacking skills that will help us pay the bills. And the 3, he didn't actually use any of the examples that I just gave you. Some of the ones he mentioned was public speaking. If you can speak, you can eat. I said that, not him, but that is true. I like that. It rhymes. If you can speak, you can eat. Because communication, if you think about it, we're all influenced by it. We're influenced by somebody's communication. Hopefully, you're being influenced by my communication to take what I'm saying and also be able to figure out how to use it in your own life. Another one he mentioned was persuasion. Learning the art of persuasion. Because we're all persuading someone to do something all the time. I'm persuading you right now to continue to watch this video. You may have just clicked off right now. So that persuasion might not have worked. I have to get better at the art of persuasion. You are persuading an employer, you are persuading a person, I'm persuading my children. We all use persuasion in our lives. Learning how it works and how to apply it to every situation makes sense. It can only make our lives better. And so that was another skill we said. And the other one, the biggest one to me is psychology. If you understand how people work, how us humans work, you can't help but to just level up your life. Because if you understand people, I mean, what that just, to me, that just opens up so much. Just understanding people, their mindsets, how things go, how they work, man, beautiful thing. The second thing the second biggest takeaway is you need to choke failure. I mean, you need to take failure like that around his neck. And you're like, why would I want to do that? Because his point was, with failure, you need to make sure you have absolutely learned the lesson from it. So if you choke it out, it can't move. It's going to sit right there until you were able to examine it. And then after you examined it, you stood back, you got the lesson from it, and then you smacked it and woke it up and let it go. That's what we got to do. We got to choke out failure. Because a lot of times we just fail, and then we keep doing the same stuff that we failed at this time, the previous time before that, the previous time before that. Because we're not sitting there choking out failure. So that was the second biggest takeaway. Choke out your failures. It should be unconscious. When it's unconscious, get what you need, then wake it up and tell it to get out. That was the second one. And the third one is happiness. How the heck do we become happy? How do we, a lot of us just aren't happy. We, especially, men who so focus on our stature and what we don't have, it's hard to be happy. It's hard to look at other people and wish, like, oh, I would just be happier if I had this, or I would just be happier if I had that. But he gave a simple way that you can increase happiness in your own life. And the simple way is to, I want to make sure I say it right, focus more on where you're going and less on where you are at right now. So if there's something in your future that you are working towards, that is much more powerful. It's going to give you that energy. It's going to give you that drive to keep going, which increases your happiness. If you're only focused on where I'm at, woe is me, I don't have this, I don't have that, that is going to not increase your happiness. It's actually going to make you sad. And another example, I heard of this a long time ago, but when you tell people about, let's just say you're going to go on vacation in 2 weeks, right? The vacation, it doesn't matter so much the vacation. It's what is the most exciting part is the anticipation that you have for the vacation. Your vacation, you can get on it and it could be, mediocre, but you'll still remember being excited, anticipating the trip. It's just an amazing thing of how that works with our happiness. And another way we can increase our happiness is by increasing the happiness of others around us. Unless you're a psychopath, it will make you happy to see other people happy. What a novel concept. So that is one of the simple ways that we can increase our own happiness. And energy creates happiness. Think about this. When you move your body, creates energy. When you're eating foods that don't make you sluggish or sick, that makes you happy. We feel sad, we feel angry, we feel frustrated when we do things that are detrimental to our energy. And here's a bonus as I get ready to wrap this up. Look, keep it simple, B. That is just it in a nutshell. Keep it simple. We overcomplicate things for no real reason. Just because we think if we make it more complicated, it makes it more effective. But in reality, simplicity in almost any area is going to lead to it being far more effective. Like yesterday, I was trying to create a thumbnail with 55 different layers, and man, it took some time. Now, what I should have done and what I have been doing, because I've put out that type of video before, I should have just kept it simple, B. And it probably would have gotten more views. So you know what I have to do today? I have to recreate the thumbnail for the video, just keeping it simple, B. So look at any area of your life and ask yourself, where the heck am I overcomplicating this? And then stop. But these are all the things that I picked up from this book, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big with Scott Adams. I read it. You may still want to, but I gave you the biggest takeaways from the book for me. There is a lot more gems in here, but not enough time to discuss them. All right, this is Jalal Wilson with Stature Icon. Remember, stand tall, shine bright. You are enough. I believe in you. I gotta go.